Hey everyone, welcome to Vacation Bible School at Home. We're so glad to have you join us today. We are looking forward to having some fun together as we learn and grow in the knowledge of Christ. Our program is designed for children going into grade 1 and up to grade 6. Anyone can watch, but our crafts, stories, songs, and games are aimed at middle-aged children. Oh, and you should know we are going to be making a craft today. So if you don't have your craft kit yet, it's not too late to get one. Just ask an adult to contact us at this email address, and we'll send you everything you'll need to work along with us and make something fun. Make sure you're watching for FunCat today. He could appear at any time to our program. He looks like this, and he will be holding something in his hand. He will only appear for a few moments, and you will have no trouble spotting him. But when you do, email us at this address and we will enter your name in a draw. One email will be randomly chosen each day to win a prize. It could be you, but you'll have to email us before noon today to enter the contest. Welcome to Day 2. Thanks for being with us.
This song is called Romans 16:19. Can you guess where in the Bible that's from? That's right, Romans 16:19. So this is really fun because you're going to hear Romans and you just answer with hey. 16, answer hey. 19 says, and then we start with be excellent. 2 thumbs up when you're excellent. For what is good, be innocent. Cover your eyes, you didn't see anything. Of evil. Evil's bad. And the God of peace will soon crush Satan. Yes, God will crush him. Where? Underneath your feet. You can't see my feet, but I'm pointing to them. And then we're going to go right back into Romans. Hey, 16. Hey, 19 says.
Romans
hey.
16,
hey.
19 says. Romans
hey.
16,
hey.
19 says. Romans
hey.
16,
hey.
19 says.
Be excellent at what is good. Be innocent of evil. Be excellent at what is good. Be innocent of evil. For the God of peace will soon crush Satan. God will crush him.
Where?
Underneath your feet. The God of peace will soon crush Satan. God will crush him.
Where?
Underneath your feet.
Romans
Hey.
16,
Hey.
19 says. Romans
Hey.
16,
Hey.
19 says. Romans
Hey.
16,
Hey.
19 says. Romans
Hey.
16,
Hey.
19 says.
Be excellent at what is good. Be innocent of evil. Be excellent at what is good. Be innocent of evil. And the God of peace will soon crush Satan. God will crush him.
Where?
Underneath your feet. The God of peace will soon crush Satan. God will crush him.
Where?
Underneath your feet.
Romans
Hey.
16,
Hey.
19 says. 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 Romans
Hey.
16, 19 says. Romans 16, 19 says. Romans 16, 19 says. Romans
Hey.
16,
Hey.
19 says. Romans
Hey.
16,
Hey.
19 says.
Hey, Elliot, I'm glad you're here again today.
Oh, yeah, look, I had a choice.
Well, I'm glad you're here because we're going to help the children to understand today's Bible verse.
Oh,
It's found in Deuteronomy.
doodle-doodly.
No, Deuteronomy.
Is it a disease?
No, Deuteronomy is a book in the Old Testament.
Oh, I don't get it.
Well, it's in chapter 31, verse 8, and we're going to help the kids to hear the verse a few times and get to know it. Can you help us?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to say a part, and then you'll repeat after me.
Oh, like yesterday.
You remember that?
Yeah?
Okay, well, like yesterday, only this time we're going to get it right.
Oh, okay.
So let's try it. The Lord will lead you.
You snore and you're greedy.
No, all right, that's not what it is. The Lord will lead you is because in our story today, the men have to make a very important decision. What the king wants and what God wants are two different things, and they have to decide what to do, and they learn that God is with them and goes before them.
What?
Yeah, listen, the Lord will lead you, and then the next part is, he himself is with you.
Okay.
Do you want to try that?
Not really.
Try it. He himself is with you.
Hello, how do you do?
No, oh, wait, that is not it. He himself is with you.
I think you need a tissue.
No, oh, wait, not even close.
Did you sneeze?
No, oh, wait, listen. He himself is with you because God goes with us in the midst of our troubles. He's with us all the time. He will not fail you or leave you.
Okay.
No, just try that part. He will not fail you or leave you.
A nail in the zoo?
Elliot, really?
Seriously.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know, a nail in the zoo.
No, Elliot, how could that even be possible?
Do they have chickens?
No, Elliot, listen, there's no zoo.
Oh, that's sad.
No, I mean, that's not in the verse.
You said it.
No, listen. It says, he will not fail you or leave you because that's what God is like. He's with us even in our hard times.
Ah,
Okay, don't worry, don't be afraid. That's the last part. Just try that. Don't worry, don't be afraid.
you're hairy and you should stay.
No, Elliot, that's not what I said.
You are hairy.
No, Elliot, really.
Yeah, your mustache, I like it.
Okay, well, thank you.
It makes you look extinguished.
Okay, great. Listen, don't worry, don't be afraid.
Your hairy legs should be shaved.
No, Elliot, that is not the verse.
Yeah, they should.
Okay, listen, that's not how it goes. Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. The Lord will lead you. He himself is with you. He will not fail you or leave you. Don't worry, don't be afraid. Thanks for your help, Elliot.
Oh, that was easy.
Now it's your turn to learn the verse. Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. The Lord will lead you. He himself is with you. He will not fail you or leave you. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. Hey, let's play a game. I'll say the first word, you say the second word, I'll say the third word, and we'll go back and forth through the entire verse. Are you ready? I'll start. Here we go. The will you himself with he not you leave don't afraid. Deuteronomy 8. Pretty good. Let's try it again. This time a little bit faster. I'll start. The will you himself with he not you leave don't afraid. Deuteronomy 8. Very good. Here's the verse again. You tell me which word is missing. How about now? How about this one? How about now? How about this one? Let's read it together. Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. The Lord will lead you. He himself is with you. He will not fail you or leave you. Don't worry. Don't be afraid.
is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. In the beginning, God made everything. God simply spoke and the world came to be. He sent a flood and made everything new. He parted the sea, let his people walk through. He helped a boy bring a giant right down. Joshua marched, the walls fell to the ground. These acts of power are worthy of praise. But if you want to question my God and his ways,
I'll look you in the eye and say,
my God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. Though we are sinners, he still gave us worth. God sent his son to live here on the earth. He healed the sick, he made the blind see. He let the lame walk and he set the world free. He died on the cross and he rose from the grave. He conquered sin, he is mighty to save. He went to heaven and he's coming back. God's word is true, but if it's attacked,
I'll look you in the eye and say,
my God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do.
Hi kids, welcome to day 2 of VBS Crafts. Today we're doing a craft that is based on the story you heard this morning of 3 young men from Israel who were living in Babylon. I find it really hard to say their names. I'm going to give it a go though. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So as you know, these 3 men were very loyal to God. And when the king asked them to bow down to an idol, they said no, even though they knew they'd be thrown into this hot fire if they disobeyed the king. And what we found out in the story is that these 3 men were left unharmed by the fire, and that the king saw a 4th person in the fire that we believe is either an angel of God or Jesus Christ himself that came to protect them. So every time you look at your craft in the future, I want you to remember that God protects you from harm. So to start with our craft, I'll show you some of the items you're going to get in your kit. You're going to get the furnace, which as you can see is a coffee cup. You're going to get some bricks. You're going to get a coloring sheet, a flame, and some tissue paper to decorate the flame. I think we should start with coloring and cutting out our picture. If you have any coloring items at home, such as crayons, pencil crayons, markers, get them now. I brought my marker kit from home as well. I chose colors that were orange, yellow, browns for the fire, and I'm going to use any color I want for their clothing. So you guys can get your crayons, and actually if you have scissors at home, make sure you ask your parents for permission or supervision to cut this out. You do not need to get into all the little nooks and crannies, just do a light circle around the picture like this. there? Just like a general cutout. Next, I'm going to start coloring my fire. I'm going to use orange for the flames. So now I've finished coloring my picture. Let me show you how we're going to add the bricks to this furnace. The first thing you're going to do is take a marker of any color, but I like a dark marker like black or brown, and just follow the outline of the door, up and around. I just tuck my door in for a second. Now you're going to draw little stones or bricks around the doorway. I think this looks like how a furnace might have looked back in those days. At the bottom, I'm going to make some square bricks like this. Yeah. Next, you're going to need to get some glue from your house. It can be a bottle of glue or a glue stick. And we're going to glue on some bricks. You should have 8 bricks in your kit. And they can be applied just like this, anywhere you want. So now I've completed putting all the bricks on my furnace. I placed them all close to the front. You are welcome to continue drawing bricks or gluing things to your cup to complete a furnace all the way around. The next step is we're going to take the lid off the bottom, like this. And we're going to open the door to our furnace. And you'll take your colored picture and we're going to glue it inside, just up the bottom like this. We want to glue it so you can see it from the window of the door. So I'm going to get my glue stick now and put a dot of glue on the back of my picture. I'm going to put it inside here, center it in the door, in the window, and there you go. So next we're going to put the lid back on this container. And now we're going to work on the fire. In your kit, you will have a piece of tissue and you will have a little light. So you're going to need some scissors once again. Make sure your parents are there to help you. And we're going to just cut little nicks about halfway down the tissue, just halfway down. Make sure you leave a strip at the bottom that's not cut. We'll just do a few more cuts along here. Next, I'm going to take the glue stick and add glue to the very edge of this little tea light, right around the edge. And I'm going to place my fringe. The cut part is going to be facing upwards towards the light. I'm going to try and line up the bottom of this with the bottom of my tea light so it will still stand up. And then once I get around, I'm going to add one more dot of glue and stick that on there. Now I'm going to put my tea light on. There's an on button on the bottom. And I'm going to open the door to my furnace. And I'm going to put my light inside. There you go. Now I've got a fiery furnace. Some of you might choose to write on your furnace, God protects me. I'm going to write that now. Just like that. And that concludes our session today. Thank you so much for joining me for crafts. And remember to join us every single day for a different craft each day.
This song is called God So Left. So pretend like you're calling your friends. You're going to say, come on, friends. Come all you weary. Come all you thirsty. Come to the well that never runs dry. Drink of the water. Pretend like you've got a cup of water here and you're going to drink it. Drink of the water. Come and thirst no more. Come all you sinners. Come find his mercy. Come to the table. He will satisfy. Taste of his goodness. This is sign language for taste. Find, you're looking for something, find what you're looking for. For God so loved, here's your heart for love, the world that he gave us, round world, his one and only Son to save us. Whoever believes, this is sign language for believes, you point to your head and then cup your hands down. Whoever believes in him will live forever. Sign language for forever. The power of hell, so you take 2 fingers here, shoulder down. Forever defeated. Now it is well. I'm walking in freedom. For God so loved the world.
Hey, remember we played a game yesterday?
No?
Well, we played a game where I showed the kids an object.
Where is it?
Well, I haven't showed you yet. And the kids had to guess what it was before you did.
Oh, how did I do?
Well, I think the kids at home probably got it a little quicker than you did.
Seriously?
Yes, but that's okay. We're going to try again today.
Oh,
And I'm going to show you something.
does it stink?
Elliot, it doesn't stink. It's a picture of something, and you're going to see if you can guess what it is before the kids at home.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay, well, I'm glad you think so. Let's try it.
Is it ugly?
Elliot, I haven't showed you yet.
What does it look like?
Okay, tell me at home if you think you know what this is and see if you can guess before Elliot does.
Oh, they can't do it.
What do you think, Elliot?
Oh, I have no idea. I think it looks like a thing. I think I know.
You think you know?
Yeah, it's like an orange thing.
Well, that's not really helpful.
Oh, I know. It's an orange thing that's red.
No, it's not that, Elliot. Keep working on it.
Oh, wait, I know. Oh, I think I got it.
Do you think you do?
Yeah,
What is it?
I don't know. Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking like something familiar. Oh, I think it's a bug.
A bug?
Yeah, like a stink bug.
No, it's not a stink bug.
Oh, it's like a pickle bug. Oh, it's a pickle bug.
Elliot, there's no such thing as a pickle bug.
Are you sure?
Keep looking.
Wait a second. It's a boy bug.
No, it's not a boy bug.
Girl bug?
No, it's called a ladybug.
I knew it.
Did you guess it before, Elliot? Let's try another one.
Oh, that's so interesting.
What do you think it is?
It's an interesting thing.
Well, does it look like anything?
No, not really. Wait, I think they're benches. You can sit on them. No, wait. Oh, I know.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what is it?
I don't know. But I think I know. It looks like it might be. Oh, this one's easy.
It is?
Yeah, I think they're French fries.
No, not French fries.
Oh, wait a second. I think I see something that looks familiar.
You do?
Yeah. Oh, it's one of those things.
Well, what kind of things?
Oh, you like push it with your finger.
Yes, you do push it with your finger. What is it called?
Oh, it's called a guitar.
No, it's not a guitar.
It's a violin.
No, it's not a violin, Elliot. What do you think you call it?
Oh, I know.
Well, what is it?
I don't know.
It's called a piano.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you didn't say piano.
Yeah, I did.
Well, this one is a picture of a piano.
I knew that. It was easy.
Did you guess it before, Elliot?
Lord, you are more precious than silver. Lord, you are more costly than gold. Lord, you are more beautiful than diamonds. Nothing I desire compares with you. Lord, your love is wider than the ocean. Lord, your love is deeper than the sea. Lord, your heart, it calls to every nation. All I want is you to live in me. Lord, you are more precious than silver. Lord, you are more costly than gold. Lord, you are more beautiful than diamonds. Nothing I desire compares with
Hi, everyone.
I'm so glad you could join us for Pinegrove's online VBS. With all that's going on in the world today, I'm sure that you are finding life difficult and maybe a bit scary. Schools are closed. You can't play with your friends or visit your family members. I've been thinking about this a lot, so I thought we should talk about the fact that God is always with us, especially during the hard and difficult times. Many stories and verses from the Bible tell us so. Our stories this week are from the book of Daniel, and boy, oh boy, did he and his friends ever have some tough times. We sure hope that you enjoy hearing God's Word. Listen carefully to the stories, as there's going to be a quiz. Today's story is from Daniel chapter 3. The title of the story is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Today's story is about a king and 3 brave men. The king's name is Nebuchadnezzar, and the 3 men were known as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We talked about them yesterday. If you remember, they lived in Babylon, worked for the king, and had important jobs in the province. The king had built a huge statue made of gold that stood 90 feet high. It was very, very tall. King Nebuchadnezzar then made an announcement. People of all languages, when you hear the music, you must fall down and worship the golden statue. Whoever does not fall down and worship the statue will immediately be thrown into a fiery furnace. God does not want us to worship anything or anyone other than Him. After all, He is God. He made us and He loves us very much. Why would we want to pray to or worship something that isn't real? Something that can't answer our prayers or help us? To worship a big pile of gold like the one that Nebuchadnezzar set up is silly. The gold can't hear, see, or care about anything or anyone. The next time the music played, everyone stopped what they were doing and they fell down and worshiped the golden statue. Everyone, that is, except Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Some of the king's workers went to the king and told him that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did not worship his gods and would not bow down to the golden statue. They reminded the king that he had said anyone who doesn't bow down would be thrown into the fiery furnace. When Nebuchadnezzar heard the news, he was furious. He immediately ordered that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought to him to explain their actions. The men were brought before the king, and Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true that you will not bow down and worship the image of gold that I have made? I will give you another chance. When the music plays, if you will be ready to fall down and worship the statue I made, very good. But if you do not worship it, you will be thrown immediately into a blazing fire. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, "King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and He will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if He does not, we want you to know that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." That made Nebuchadnezzar even more furious. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual and commanded some of the strongest soldiers to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The men, wearing all their clothes, including turbans, were bound and thrown into the burning, blazing furnace. Because the furnace was so hot, the flames even killed the soldiers. King Nebuchadnezzar jumped to his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, "Weren't there 3 men thrown into the fire?" They replied, "Oh yes, King." He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, untied and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." Nebuchadnezzar then came as close as he could to the furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, followers of the Most High God, come out, come here." The three men walked out of the furnace without any burns. The hair on their heads wasn't singed, and no smell of fire was on them. Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied my command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God." The king then made an announcement that all the people of all languages could not say anything bad about the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or they would be punished, because no other God can save in this way. The king then promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. These men had faith in God, and he protected them and brought them safely through the fiery furnace. Deuteronomy 31:8 says, "The Lord will lead you. He himself is with you. He will not fail you or leave you. Don't worry. Don't be afraid."
It's time for Something Unusual. Hey
Hey, let's do something interesting and amazing. I'm going to need one person in the room to help me out. If there's more than one of you there, you're going to have to choose somebody to decide who's going to help me. You'll need to come forward and touch your TV screen or maybe even your laptop or your device, as long as you have permission from someone who's in charge. And we're going to do some counting. So it might be better for an older brother or a sister or maybe even a grown-up to help you out if you're not very good with your numbers yet. You can see here a circle of objects. Now, if you're careful to follow my instructions, even though you're at home and I'm here, when you move your finger around from object to object, I'm going to find you. There are many spots that might interest you. There's a butterfly and a car. There's a pile of books. There's even a hamburger. But let's start by having you pick a number between 5 and 15. You can say your number out loud so everyone in the room knows what you've chosen. I can't hear you. Any number, as long as it's between 5 and 15. It's going to be your choice, and I will have no idea what number you've decided on. In a moment, you're going to move your finger the same number of times as the number that you've chosen. To begin, put your finger on the heart. So, just for example, if the number you chose is 8, you would move 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you'd stop here on the fish. If you chose 5, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are a lot of possibilities. So keep your finger here on the heart and get ready to move in the direction of the arrow the exact number of spaces as the number you've chosen. Are you ready? Starting at the heart, begin to move as I count. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop when you reach your number and remember the object you landed on. Now, get ready to move in the opposite direction. Begin on the object your finger landed on and move the same number you just moved. Whatever number you'd chosen between 5 and 15, move in the opposite direction as I count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. When you've finished, leave your finger on the final place you've touched. Now I know you're not on the acorn, so I'll remove that one. And I know you're not on the apple. Now some of you were just on the car, but you're not there now, so I'm going to take it away. And you're not on the fish, so I'll remove that one too. Now remember the object your finger is touching, and let me just sift these a bit so they make a tighter circle. That will make things a bit easier for you at this next step. Now begin again on the object you were last touching and move 4 times. You can move in any direction you want, but move exactly 4 times. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold your finger there. Let me see. You're not on the tree, and you haven't caught a bunny, and you haven't caught a butterfly. I know where you are. It is the summer after all. Of course, you've landed your finger on the warmest spot possible, on the bright, happy sun. I told you I could find you. It's time for today's quiz. Grab a pencil and your answer page and circle the answer you think is correct. Here we go. How tall was the golden statue that Nebuchadnezzar had built? 30 feet, 60 feet, or 90 feet? The correct answer is C, 90 feet. What did the king say would happen to the people who did not bow down to the golden statue when they heard the music? They would go to bed without dinner, they would be thrown into the fiery furnace, or they would be thrown into the lion's den. The answer is B, they would be thrown into the fiery furnace. When the music played, who did not bow down to the golden statue? The king and his officials, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or the musicians? The answer is B, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. If the young men were to be thrown into the furnace, who did they think could save them? The god they served, the golden statue, or the chief official? The correct answer is A, the god they served. How much hotter did the king order the furnace to be heated? 3 times hotter than usual, 5 times hotter than usual, or 7 times hotter than usual? The correct answer is C, 7 times hotter than usual. What were the young men wearing when they were thrown into the fiery furnace? Ceremonial clothes given by the king, their own clothes and turbans, or their own pajamas? The correct answer is B, their own clothes and turbans. What amazing thing did the king see when he looked into the fiery furnace? 3 men untied and unharmed, 4 men untied and unharmed, or roast beef and baked potatoes? The correct answer is B, 4 men untied and unharmed. What did the king say the 4th man in the furnace looked like? A fiery angel, Daniel, or the Son of God? The correct answer is C, the Son of God. When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the furnace, how did they look? They didn't have any burns and no smell of fire was on them. They looked like they'd been in the sun too long, or their clothes were burned and they had no hair left on their heads. The correct answer is A, they didn't have any burns and no smell of fire was on them. What did the king say when the young men came out of the furnace unharmed? The furnace wasn't hot enough, throw them back in. Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or this can't be happening. I think I'm dreaming. The answer is B, praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. How well did you do today? Now, you might remember that Reggie and Lena were visiting their Aunt Lorene, and while they were looking out the window of their really cool treehouse, they noticed something strange happening. The well that she had dug had left a hole in the yard, and when Reggie and Lena thought they saw a light coming out from it, well, they knew they had to check it out. When Reggie got down there, he thought he found a suitcase, and when Reggie opened it, he could hardly believe his eyes. But Reggie wasn't sure that what he saw was what he saw. The light on the flashlight had gone out just when Reggie was starting to realize that he thought it was filled with, but he wasn't sure. But Reggie had an idea. As best he could in the dark, he closed the lid on the suitcase and snapped the 2 latches shut. And Reggie ran over and got a hold of the rope. And Reggie tied the rope to the handle of the suitcase. He dragged it back to now where he was underneath the hole, and Reggie started to climb back up. It was pretty hard going for a kid who really didn't do that much climbing. But Reggie slowly managed to get his way to the top. When he got out and stood there for a moment, he was trying to catch his breath, and Lena said, "Where is it? What was it? What did you see?" But Reggie didn't say a word. He just reached down, grabbed a hold of the rope that was still in the hole, and very carefully started to pull it up. Lena said, "What are you doing, Reggie?" Reggie still didn't answer. He just kept pulling slowly on the rope. Lena looked down into the hole, and that's when she realized what he was doing. Reggie had tied the suitcase to the end of the rope. He was pulling it up, little by little. When Reggie got the suitcase close enough to the surface that he could reach for the handle, he kind of forgot to hold tightly to the rope. And as he sort of eased up on his grip to reach out for the handle, the suitcase started to slide. The rope went whipping through his hand, and the suitcase started to fall. Reggie squeezed the rope tight and stopped the fall. That was close. And then Reggie started pulling the suitcase back up again. But what Reggie didn't realize was that the suitcase had popped open. In the sudden stop, as Reggie squeezed the rope tight, as the rope jerked to a stop, the suitcase lid flung open, and out poured all of what was inside that suitcase. The suitcase had been filled with money. Reggie could hardly believe it was true. But when he got to the top and he reached up and grabbed the suitcase and pulled up the empty suitcase all flopped open, Reggie could hardly believe it. He looked down into the hole, but all he could see was black. The flashlight batteries were still dead. He tried it a few times. He couldn't see a thing. How was he going to get it now? Reggie didn't know what to do. Lena said, "Reggie, in the morning, when the sun is shining, the light from the sun will go down into the hole. You'll be able to see everything. You can collect it then. We'll just get up really early." Reggie really wanted to climb down there right now, but he knew his sister was right. He couldn't see a thing. There was nothing he could do about it. Very carefully, Reggie put the rope back exactly where he had found it, and the two of them very quietly went back to their treehouse beds. Oh, they had a hard time falling asleep now. All they could talk about was how in the world could a suitcase filled with money end up in a hole, in a cave, in Aunt Lorene's backyard. It just didn't make any sense. But when morning came, Reggie knew immediately what he was going to do. It didn't take him long to get his shoes on and get across the yard. He ran full tilt. He threw himself down on the grass and he looked down into the hole. And there, in the bottom of the hole, was nothing. That didn't make any sense at all. How could there be nothing? He had a whole suitcase full of money, and it had split open, and everything spread everywhere. It had to. It must have. But it was gone. Wait a second, Reggie thought. Lena, she wasn't in bed. She got up before me. That's where it is. Oh, phew. And that's when Reggie started to run back to the house. Reggie hardly got a few steps when he realized there was something on the bottom of his shoe. It was a big, thick clod of mud. Reggie hadn't noticed it, of course. He was so busy running. But now it was kind of bothering him. He reached down to pull it off. And that's when he noticed something. Wait a second, Reggie thought. It looks like it could be. Reggie didn't want to tear it. So he very carefully went to the back of the house. He turned on the garden hose and started to spray the bottom of his shoe. Oh, and it was exactly what Reggie thought it was. He had his very own $20 bill. Well, that's cool, Reggie thought. At least if we don't find any money in the hole, at least I've got $20. Reggie was eager to fly into the house and find his sister and find out if she had gathered up the money that morning. He came running into the living room, screaming, "Woo! I got $20! $20! Aunt Lorene looked up from her reading. "What is that you're saying, Reggie?" Reggie calmed down very quickly. Well, he said, he was holding up his $20 bill. He said, I found this. It's mine. I found it. Aunt Lorene said, where in the world did you find that? Well, Reggie wasn't sure what to say. And then he decided to just tell her the truth. It was stuck on the bottom of my shoe, he said. Weird. Reggie didn't want to tell her the whole story. He wasn't supposed to go near that hole to begin with. Aunt Lorene said, can I take a look at that money for a second? Reggie just shrugged and stuck out his hand and handed it to her. It seemed like an ordinary $20 bill, but Aunt Lorene had noticed something on Reggie's hands. She said, Reggie, how come this money is wet? Oh, I had to wash it off my shoe, he said. I used the garden hose. I turned it off. She wasn't concerned about that, but she was realizing that as she touched the money, the ink was coming off on her fingers. Reggie, she said, I don't think this is real money. What? Reggie said. How could it not be real money? I don't think it's real money, she said. Somebody has tried to make this look like real money, but this money is counterfeit. Well, that was a word Reggie had never heard before. Counter what? Aunt Lorene said, Reggie, it says pretend as finding grapes on a thistle bush. What? Reggie said. Aunt Lorene said, do you not remember the verses that I read yesterday? Can you pick grapes from a thorn bush? A good tree produces good fruit, and a bad tree produces bad fruit. Just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions. Reggie, somebody wants people to think that this is real money so that they can spend it. And it's just like stealing. They're going to buy something with money that isn't even real. You can do that, Reggie said. Well, no, you're not supposed to, but people try to. So that's what you were trying to talk about yesterday with those verses. Well, yes, said Aunt Lorene, not counterfeit money, but the fact that people try to show something on the outside that isn't real on the inside. It's like they're counterfeit. They try to pretend that they really know Jesus in their hearts, but their lives don't show it. They're counterfeit Christians. Oh, Reggie said, I see what you mean. And you can tell if somebody is real by the way they behave. Exactly, said Aunt Lorene. You can identify real Christians by their actions. Interesting, said Reggie. Meanwhile, in his head, he was thinking about asking Lena if she was the one who had gathered up the money from down in that hole. Aunt Lorene said that she'd had an early breakfast and she was going to head off to the library. And that's when Reggie had his opportunity. Because after breakfast, Aunt Lorene went out to her garden to pull weeds and tend to things. And well, with Lena gone, and she was at the library getting some books, well, that gave Reggie the opportunity to do what he wanted to do. He very carefully went and got the rope from the shed. It was exactly where he had left it. He carefully came back, wrapped it around the tree, and made sure Aunt Lorene was still busy. He threw the rope down into the hole, and Reggie finally had an opportunity to find out what happened to the rest of that money. Reggie cautiously, carefully, slowly slid down that rope. And when Reggie got to the bottom, he could almost see, because the light coming through the hole was making things clearer. You know, all the money had been picked up. Reggie looked around for a few minutes to try and see it. It didn't look like it was anywhere. And that's when Reggie noticed something that he hadn't seen the night before. With the dimness of the flashlight, there was no way he would have seen this. But Reggie thought, that looks like it's, could it be the... And that's when Reggie knew he wasn't about to leave this cave. He had to check this out.
And tomorrow, I'll tell you what Reggie found.
Well, Elliot, it's time to say goodbye to the kids, and we hope that they join us again tomorrow.
We do?
Yes, of course we do. It'll be fun to get together.
How do you know that they're not already in tomorrow?
What does that mean?
How do you know they're not in a time machine and they're actually in yesterday?
Elliot, no, that's not how the things work.
How do you know?
Well, because that's not how the universe works. I know a little bit more than you do.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Elliot, you should show me a little bit of respect.
Oh, I do. I show you as little as I can.
Elliot, please, let's just say goodbye to the kids.
Hello.
Thanks for being with us. We hope you join us again tomorrow.